Hello, fellow chess fans. Tony Rotella here, or Tony Ro on Lichess, back with another Lichess feature reveal. So probably about 3 months ago, I introduced you guys to the Opening Explorer, and this time I'm back with a feature I'm really excited about that we call Study. And at its core, Study is a shared analysis tool. So if you like to get together with your opponents after the game and analyze together, share your thoughts, you can do that. Or if you have a coach and you're taking your lessons on another server and you prefer to do it on Lichess, you can do that. Or if you're like me and you have friends that live far away that you still like to keep in touch with and analyze some chess with, that is also available on Lichess now. But for me, Study by now already really has morphed into something that is much more powerful, and I find myself using it because of all of these little idiosyncrasies and added features and niceties. I find myself using it for nearly all of my chess analysis tasks when I have access to the internet. So, and I hope by the end of the video you'll see why for me that's the case, and it'll start to be that way for you. The one powerful thing about Lichess is that it's free, it's mobile. So you really have access to all of this stuff you're using Study for everywhere. So, okay, enough of my blabbing. Let's launch a study. So there are a couple ways to do that. You can do that from the Learn Study. That's sort of the most intuitive and straightforward way. But you can also go to Tools, Analysis Board, go down this little hamburger menu, and then host a study. But let's go the conventional way, as the conventional way will allow me to show you the study landing page. And this is a page that just keeps all of your studies organized. So the studies you create will be in your own studies tab, and then there's studies you did not create, someone else created, but you're added as a contributor to. So for instance, if your coach created a study and added you, it would be in this tab. And then your studies, all of the studies in these first two tabs are divided again for convenience into public and private studies. I keep all of my, top secret opening analysis that I'm storing in studies private, so no one can steal it. But okay, I'm going to click on the new study button, and it launches a study. And right away, you'll notice that for the most part, it looks a lot like the analysis board you're already used to seeing. So it's got a notation pane. You can open up the Opening Explorer, start local stockfish analysis, etc., chat room, all that. But it has some extra stuff. And we'll get to all that extra stuff in a minute. But what would a shared analysis board really be without some sharing? So I'm going to click this little plus on the Members tab. God, I love how this thing zooms in and out and turns green. I could do it all day. Okay, but I'm going to invite someone. I have a friend named Roni To on standby for times like this. And I'm going to switch to split screen here to Roni To's screen as well. And you can see that he's gotten an inbox message. And I'm going to click on that. And shockingly, it's an invite to my study. So if I click on that, Roni To enters the study. And you see on both of our screens that now Members has 2 people instead of 1. And you can also invite people to studies by just copying the hyperlink and sending it to them. If you're talking over Messenger or GChat, Skype, email, etc., you can do that. But of course, the invite and sending them a message is probably a little bit more convenient. So right away, you can see that we have different icons. They're both highlighted green, which means we're both present. If you invite someone and they're not yet in the study, this will be grayed out. But you can see that my friend has this little eye, and that means he's just a spectator. And I have this radio button, this radio icon, which means I'm a contributor. And I can make my friend a contributor by just clicking the Make a Contributor radio button. I can also give him the boot if he's being really obnoxious, as my friends are normally wont to do. So, okay, but he's a contributor. Just kidding. He's a contributor. And now we can see the essence of what shared analysis is all about. So I can, on my board, start playing some typical moves, let's say, in the Sicilian. And on my friend's board, he can also make moves. So he can take over, make some extra moves. If my friend is really a fan of the Sveshnikov, he can make those moves, and I see them. And similarly, I can click on positions in this notation pane and go back, and he sees that, and I can play a different move, and it ends up in sort of this typical nested variation style that you see everywhere. And contrary to what Lichess has been doing in the past with this little double dot menu on the right, now you can right-click on any move and you get options. So promote and delete, which you're probably familiar with from before. Delete works a little bit differently. You can delete from any move now and save parts of the variation. But let's say I want to promote this. It promotes it on both of our screens. And what starts to make the shared analysis really special is that you can right-click and you can comment with text, and you can also comment with symbols. So you also have this option down here. So if I want to comment on this position, I love the Kalashnikov. You can see up top in the notation pane the comments update live. If I close this, I can go over to Roni Toes and also attribute a comment to him. No way. The Sveshnikov is way better. I'm a child, so I'm going to finish this out. Okay. And you can see now under the board that these comments are saved and attributed to who said them. And similarly, you can comment in the typical Informator sort of chessbook annotation style. I can give E5 an exclam. I'm more likely to give it a double exclam equals. That kind of thing, or I can take away the equals, etc., and give, I don't know, with counterplay, for instance. And these are saved. And as usual, Lichess also allows you to do the multicolored arrows. So, for instance, red for thread if you want to stay organized, or, knight b5, threatening knight d6. Maybe I can make blue and yellow just to kind of complete the cycle. And the important thing to know about the arrows now and the screen highlights, let me highlight something relevant, is that they're saved. So if I play them on e5 and I go back, they're saved. So arrows no longer perish like they do in live games or like they did in the analysis board previously. All of this stuff is saved. And the comments are saved, the glyphs are saved, everything is saved. And if it wasn't clear before from the study landings page, all of your studies are saved also. And that's one of the really powerful things about this platform that we've developed here, is that if you take lessons or you analyze with friends, etc., everything is saved. Your lesson with your coach will be saved until Lichess perishes for you to review later. And that's contrary to what I've had to deal with in the past, where I take a lesson and then 3 months later I wish I had access to all that stuff again. But okay. So that's really the core of what study is all about. I should mention that some things are not synced. So, we see that moves are synced and arrows and comments are synced, but things like flipping the board, that's not synced. If I flip on my board, Roni Toe does not see that. And if I add the opening explorer or the local analysis, that is also not shared. So just keep that in mind. The thing that I think makes study extra powerful is that there's this concept of chapters. And really, if you're familiar with working with PGNs or CBV or SCID files, chapters are really just like adding multiple games to a PGN or multiple games to a database. But we're allowing you to do that in a shared analysis format, and we're also allowing you to save that on our server. So, for instance, let's say we're done talking about the relative merits of the Kalashnikov and the Sveshnikov, and I would like to show my friend this really great Ulf Andersson game that I was looking at versus Karpov. So I have the PGN on hand, and I click New Chapter, and I could name this if I wanted. So I'm not going to name it for this purpose. You'll see in a second. For now, it's defaulted to Chapter 2, and I'm going to paste my PGN here. And I'll just keep the orientation to white, but you can change it to black, etc. And you can also, I'll show you this a little bit later, there's a puzzle mode. Okay, so I'm going to load a PGN, and I'm going to click Create Chapter, and you can see that now we have 2 chapters. So if at any other time I wanted to go back to what we were thinking about the Sveshnikov and Kalashnikov, I could click on Chapter 1, and it brings us back to all that analysis, but okay. Let's stick to Chapter 2, and you see that I didn't change the name from Chapter 2 to this, but automatically, if you don't change the name when you import a PGN, it changes it to the player names to help you keep track. And I can scroll through the moves with my mouse wheel just over the board to take a look. And one thing that is really cool to know is that all of the glyphs, evaluations, and comments are also imported. So if you're a coach and you have files with variations and annotations in it, You can upload that, and all of that is directly imported as well. And you can create studies using a bunch of different options. So you can just start from the initial position. And by the way, you can start in any variant you want that's available on Lichess. So if for whatever reason I wanted to analyze Horde with my friend from the black side, I could do that. I click Create Chapter. It creates a Horde board, and I can analyze. But again, at any time, if I wanted to go back to this Ulf Anderson game and add something, I could do so, and it's saved. You can also start from the board editor. I'm not going to do that, but you could edit this position and start a new chapter. You can import a Lichess game. So if you have the ID, let's say I wanted to analyze this Crazy House game I played versus Tebow a while ago as a test, I could do that, and I could scroll through the moves, analyze it, add variations, etc. So study supports all known variants that Lichess has. You can study any of these. Or let's say you're a coach and you want to start from some kind of a fen as a puzzle. You can do that as well with white or black to move, etc. Okay, so I mentioned puzzle mode. I'll show you that really quick. It's kind of a cool feature if you're a coach, or you just want to, if you teach in schools, or you just want to quiz your friends. And you want the whole game, but you would also like to not let your student see the tree, for instance. You can enter puzzle mode. I can import that game, and you can see that on my screen, I can see all of the notation, and it's grayed out. But on my student screen, in this case, Ronito is a student, he doesn't get to see all the moves. So I could I could play through, let's say, all of the moves, and alert my student that knight b4 was a mistake, but he can't see the winning move. And so he could analyze his position without really being able to cheat and try to find the move for himself. And by the way, if you don't want your students to cheat, you can edit the study at any time to allow computer analysis and opening explorers for various sort of configurations. No one can use it, only the owner can use it, only contributors can use it, etc. And of course, at any time, you can change the name of your study or change it from public to private. So those are some nice features as well that you can use. And for the most part, that is the essence of study. There are a couple of little things I haven't explained. One of the best things, you can download an entire study as PGN. So I could click this, it downloads it, and I'll have that study in PGN format. All of the chapters, of course, will be different games in the PGN. All of the comments are kept, etc. So if you take a lesson and you like to keep your lessons, organized in ChessBase, or you want to go back and edit them later on your home computer, etc., you can do that. Another thing you might want to do is go back and check something, but not make it shared or not alert the other person that you're going back. So if you want to do that, you can disconnect from local moves, and you can see on my screen that I'm free to sort of scroll and check out what's being done while Ronito is like moving around, and once it shows that I'm falling behind. So you can see this one here, and if I make extra moves like he takes d5, it'll show 2, and I can sync back up, and it brings me back to the normal position. That's just in case you want to go off and view something else, or check something out without the other person knowing, or you just want to unsync for a second. So that would be just something that's useful to keep in mind if you need it for later. So that is most of what's studied. Let's take a brief tour again through my study page, just so you can kind of get a flavor of what I've been using study for and why I think it's so powerful. And by the way, if you ever need any help with anything study-wise, if you don't understand some feature, you can click help here and it gives you a little automated tour. That's nice. But okay, let's go back to maybe single board mode, and then head over to my profile and go to this studies thing here. And you can see the kind of things I've been doing with study already. So I had a lesson with my coach, and you can see all of these different chapters where we worked through some puzzles. So that's nice. Of course, the study we just had. I created a YouTube video not that long ago about a specific kind of rook endgame, and I loaded all of the different positions I discussed as different chapters. And now if if I want to, I can link all of my YouTube viewers to this study, and they can study this material, analyze it by themselves, download it as a PGN, check out all of the stuff to review later. A real huge benefit to my subscribers, for instance. Another thing is you can use it for opening analysis. So I had an interest in Queen B3 against the Slav. So D4, D5, Knight F3, Knight F6, for instance, C4, C6, and then Queen B3. And I broke it up into separate variations based on, what I thought were critical positions and how it logically made sense to sort of break up the opening study. And you can use the opening explorer, you can use stockfish analysis, you can use all of the annotations to add evaluations and stuff, and you can import analysis you already have, let's say from ChessBase or Skid or whatever, and store it on Lichess so you can have it anywhere and you don't have to have ChessBase on hand or whatever. If you're a teacher, you can organize lesson plans by study. So, lesson plan every week for your kids to study and have multiple quiz questions within the study, etc. I got together with my friend Phil, who lives in Oregon, to analyze some Kalashnikov stuff, and we got together, and so I created 2 separate chapters to analyze 2 different Kalashnikov positions, etc. So it's useful, let's say, as a solo tool if you're studying opening books and you want to store all of that analysis online. If you're studying theoretical endgames and you'd like to store all of that stuff online. If you're studying tactics puzzles or you want to save tactics puzzles for your students. If you're following along with your favorite YouTube videos or chess videos online from other places and you'd like to save all of that analysis in a study for you to view later, you can do that. You can use the Explorer and Stockfish, as I already mentioned, to create your own opening files. Or, of course, you can just analyze with your friends, opponents, or your coach online and have it saved, downloadable to PGN, viewable at any time from anywhere. And, of course, because it's Lichess, everything is for free. So that's really it. I hope you guys enjoy the new feature. I've been using it a ton already. I'm totally in love with Study. I think it's the absolute bee's knees and is really the most powerful analysis tool and most versatile analysis tool out there on the internet right now. So hope you guys like it. If you have any questions, of course, you can hop into the Lichess IRC. You can message me at Tony Rowe on Lichess, and I'd be happy to answer your questions. You can leave comments on this YouTube video. Okay. Bye, guys.